Hi guys, it's me from the Island Boys. Hey, check it out. You are tuned into Down the Rabbit Hole podcast, the only podcast out in Union County, North Carolina. Stay tuned as Jason and the boys take you down the rabbit hole and with yet another episode, because I'm an island boy, yeah.
Welcome in, Down the Rabbit Hole podcast. We're back in. We got a big old topic today. We're going to be talking about the moon landing. The phone lines have been open. We've had comments coming in. We're going to be opening up the hotline here later for you guys to call in live and talk to the panel with your questions or comments. We're going to jump right on into this moon landing. When did it? 1969?
Earlier 60s.
Earlier 60s?
Well, Russia did a Soviet space program too.
You think we landed on the moon, Brian?
I'm going to tell you what I know at this point as an adult. I'm going to say it's highly unlikely.
Jeff?
I think we have some pretty good evidence that we did. They have these reflective things on there that they use to measure the distance between the Earth and the moon, I guess to make sure that some bitch ain't like crashing in on us. I think the conspiracy is they lost the video and they refilmed it on Earth.
Jamie, you think we landed on the moon?
No.
You don't think so?
I used to, but not anymore.
Yeah, and this topic kind of came up on our last podcast, and we were just kind of shooting around some ideas, and now it's going to turn into a whole episode. But well, let's jump right on into it, man. I got a lot going on here. Like I say, the comment lines have been open 24/7. We've had some comments flowing in from California and all over the place. We're going to play those and get you guys' reactions to those. The hotline is going to be opening up here for the last part of the show. Well, let's go ahead and get on in here and see what we got.
It was July 16th, 1969 is when we landed.
I got a question.
Okay.
Is it round or flat?
The moon?
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I saw
All right.
the other day that showed, like, I guess they were trying to say that the moon isn't even real. They had a light set up and projecting it through like a little dome, and what they had projected through, it looked exactly like the moon. It was crazy.
I've seen that as well.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, the way they did the experiment, like it shows like a reflection of, I guess the light or whatever outside of the dome.
Well, let me present to you Exhibit A. First of all, is there gravity on the moon?
Very little.
No. So
Well, Exhibit A, check this out and tell me what's going on here. Look at the suspension travel on this thing, and you tell me there's no gravity? Or is that on Earth? Look at that.
you know something else they say though? They call it weightless environment.
Well, look at the dust and stuff.
And you got to assume that's probably some pretty lightweight material because they flew it up there on the space.
It's got to be. I mean, that thing's probably the weight of a motorcycle, 600 pounds or so.
Or yeah, so it's not even plausible that it'd be like, oh, well, they had extra weight on it to make it, have more gravity.
Well, let me get into Exhibit B. I found this in my scouring of the web. Check this out.
A shaft that you rotate.
So, I mean, like on the space station, how many of these would you have?
7, because we have 7 windows.
What happens if you get a leak on that?
Then you have a leak.
You just have a leak.
And what you would do is...
You lose air.
Yeah, you would probably seal the whole cupola off. And then there's probably a plan, I don't know off the top of my head, but there's probably a plan for replacing the mechanism. Might require a spacewalk.
So my question is, how can you operate a lid on the outside of the space station by manipulating something mechanical on the inside of the space station without losing air pressure?
It's called real good engineering.
Of what the mission goals are for your time on orbit and what responsibilities and jobs are going to be yours when you're up there.
Well, I'm one of the science guys and I'm one of the repair guys. And fortunately, there's lots of science and lots of repair to do on station, so that will certainly keep us all.
Okay, so he's the fix-it guy.
He's the fix-it guy that doesn't know.
Some real good engineering.
He sounds a little slow to be someone I would trust to fix a space.
I buy it a little bit, but something sounds a little off about all of that there, man. What about, have y'all seen some of the things that Buzz Aldrin says?
Yes.
And I've seen, there's videos where people like confront him and he gets real mad and stuff, but then he goes on these talk shows and says that that's not what happened.
Let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know. So explain that to me then. He's basically saying you didn't see it.
Huh. It kind of could be out of context. Maybe he's just saying you didn't see it live.
He said it was an animation.
But animation, yeah, that's a weird word to use.
Well, I can expect. I thought after I saw that, I said I got to go further and find out if he's like what you're saying. I needed some clarification, so I found where this little girl asked him a question. And
why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know what I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary. Circuit breaker.
How long do you know what you're talking about? You're referring to something...
right here, Stanley Kubrick.
Well, I was contacted by NASA.
Okay.
And they were planning this fake moon landing. They wanted.
But why did they have to fake it? Why?
Because it is impossible to get to the moon.
Went down and we watched you guys land on the moon, which was
see
what?
Because, I mean, come on now.
There wasn't any television. There wasn't any
Elon's kind of hinted around at the fuel that it would actually take to get there, and has made comments like, "We don't have the capacity."
Hey, Brian, do me a favor. What does Google say if you say, why haven't we been back to the moon?
Well, that's kind of what I've got pulled up here and what you were just hitting on. And this is the craziest argument that they have. So that was kind of what he was hitting on right there, and I've got it pulled up. And what they say is we don't have the technology because all of the data, all the whatever it was lost, and it's too expensive.
Lost?
Yeah, because the program shut down, so that everything just halted. But wouldn't you just pick up the research and where you were at? Like, can't we put what they used to put in a whole building servers on one of these, but we don't have the technology and it's too expensive.
So if you lose the stuff and you can do it in 69, you can do it faster today even if you're starting from scratch because you have experience in it and trial and error.
Yeah.
So I literally saw an article today about a young lady. She's like 23 and she's going to go to Mars and never come back.
She's on that mission. One of the people
So we're going to Mars, but we can't make it back to the moon. That's odd.
Yeah, that's what the Starship. That's what Elon's trying to get. Right, he's trying to get it where we're going to go, but we're going to drive right by the moon.
Yeah.
Hey, does this make you a flat Earth person if you don't believe we've been to the moon?
No, I don't think so.
Firmament? Are we back to the firmament again?
I think they're separate. Well, I mean,
it might be the firmament.
He
not.
Just said it's
flat
impossible
Earth.
to do.
Yeah.
Why do we only have? We do have the space station. I think. Let me ask this table that. Do you believe we have the space station?
Yes, I've seen it.
There's a lot of videos of crashed space stations with balloons on them. Have you seen that, Jamie?
I have not.
Oh, Google it. And there's
but
tons.
we know low orbit space travel does exist.
Correct.
Do we believe that's maybe why that's the only thing that's really
correct?
People go up and
that's what I believe. I believe that the Earth is round and there is stuff in low Earth orbit, but we can't get through the firmament. And there's plenty of people that have said we can't get through it. I mean, they shot a nuclear bomb at the firmament. It hit the firmament and exploded. Like, first off, I don't know why the hell they'd want to do that. If the firmament's real and we're buried in water, that's just going to flood us all. But they did it. It didn't. A nuclear bomb couldn't blow up the firmament, but you're saying a rocket can go through it.
Let's go ahead and get some of these comments, man. As you know, we opened up the comment line. And the comment line is going to be open from now on out. So if you want to get in on future episodes as you hear them, go ahead and call in. But let's hear what some people had to say about this matter.
I don't get me wrong, I don't believe everything the government does on the up and up, and they're always doing some shitty stuff behind their back. But that being said, I don't believe the conspiracy guys got it quite right on the moon landing. You guys watch Mythbusters. They had an episode just before that. It was, I think it was episode 10, season 6, or season 6, episode 10 or something like that. And they kind of went over the major conspiracy hot points and kind of debunked every one of them. Just food for thought.
Anybody see what the Mythbusters episode he's talking about?
I did see it, but it was years ago. Shout out to Bobo. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, that's Jason out of Charlotte. And then we got, looks like Josh calling in out of Indian Trail.
I don't think we went on the moon.
Well, he didn't waste no time, did he?
I'm glad he really got dug deep into that one. Thanks, Josh.
Okay, and we got Darshawn out of California.
The moon landing is fake. When you look at all of the details and all the videos and pictures and everything, I think people even, like conspiracy theorists even found places in America where it could have been filmed. And I just think technology wasn't as good as it is now, and we still haven't been to the moon that many times now. So I think it was fake. It was recorded, and it was a fight to trick Russia into telling that we've been to the moon first.
That's I've heard a lot about that, and the same thing with Mars. There's a place somewhere.
It's in Canada.
Canada, okay, and they line the pictures up. It's 1,000% the same pictures that the Mars rover is showing.
But
100%.
But what I found in this article about why we haven't been back and this and that, and it says that the moon is a harsh environment. It's difficult to design spacecraft that can navigate its surface, and it's almost impossible to recreate those situations on Earth. So
it's not impossible to recreate anything that you put on TV.
Well, I mean, I'm just if we say that they're right, if it's fake, we're not even going anyway. So we're not testing anyways. What the test is the landing.
You want to see some actual footage?
Yeah, actual moon landing footage that looks like it's shot in 4K.
Is it just me, or does he look like he's hanging from a string?
Wait, is he on the moon here?
Yeah, this is something
Or
that
spacewalk.
CBS put together to simulate what we were supposed to be seeing.
They didn't do a good job of
He's
it.
in a harness. He's pivoting. He's in a harness. You can see like he's pivoting from the center of his back.
Look at the world
Only
spin.
some of the hose.
Look at the world spinning below.
It was spinning pretty fast too.
Yeah, he's hanging from his waist.
I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to believe that.
Okay.
Anyway, we got some more calls here. Let's see who we got. We got David out of South Boston, Virginia.
I don't think it was about landing on the moon. I think it was about the appearance of landing on the moon, just like the appearance of gas prices are the way they are. Who we lying to now? Ourselves?
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If we're doing it or if we did it or claimed to do it but didn't do it to, like he said, get ahead of Russia, get ahead of China, whatever, to win the space race, why hasn't Russia used their high-power telescopes on the moon where we landed and said, guys, there's no freaking flag there. You guys were never there.
I actually got something for that. I was asked if you could see the flag.
Okay.
And the answer is here.
Can you see the American flags left by Apollo astronauts on the moon with a telescope? The short answer is no. The reason why, the flags are way too small. With a telescope you can see the mountains and craters, but those are much larger than a flag. Actually, not even the Hubble telescope can spot the flags left by the Apollo missions. They're simply too small. And even if you could, they'd likely appear white, not red, white, and blue. Exposure to harsh sunlight for over 50 years has probably bleached the flags white by now. So no, the flags are not visible, but still there on the moon's surface. For space updates, follow Secrets of Space.
Okay, so we can use a telescope to see a planet umpteen billion light years away, but we can't see a flag on the moon, or at least evidence of it.
Yeah, we just don't have the technology yet.
You know what? I'm gonna retract my earlier statement. I've never believed what we land on it, but I was watching stuff and I was kind of thinking I want to believe we did.
Yeah. Cool,
So-
right? It's fun. It's fun for science class when you're in elementary school.
It is.
Yeah.
And-
you really want to believe this stuff.
There's a lot of stuff
especially.
that coincides with, like, if you kind of want to, like Joe Rogan says, like, it's all fun and we want to believe it. So sometimes we hear stuff and we convince ourselves that it's real. There's a thing where they're circling the moon and he gets to the dark side of the moon and he's hearing these sounds, and then you hear somebody on the spaceship say, like, oh, they're right there, they're watching us. Maybe it's all they do this like for that
Optics.
way. Project Bluebeam will work later, you know, or if they want to say we're gonna scratch Project Bluebeam and go with something else, you know, they leave options. They think way ahead of us in everything they do. So,
You know what it also does? It produces a sense of American pride, right? We're Americans. We went to the moon. We're the badasses with best of this world, you know, and then it creates funding too, which I think is probably a little bit more How can we get tax dollars out of the taxpayer? I know we're going to have a space program.
NASA money laundering. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a money laundering
we give them money for these space programs. We don't know what the hell they're buying with it,
Well, easy enough, because they also claim if we can't leave the firmament, but they're claiming to go to space and send all this stuff out.
Yeah, Russia claims to have went there also,
Right. And China right now has supposedly the only rover that's ever been on the dark side of the moon.
Okay.
If that's the case, then they kind of, we tricked you guys, but here's the thing. We'll pay you some money. Don't say nothing about it. And then now you can have your space program. Let us show you how we've worked it out to funnel trillions of dollars from our taxpayers.
Now we're getting,
and you can do the same thing.
Now we're getting
that makes a lot more sense.
Well, who's on the space station together?
Well, the space station, I believe, is real because I've literally seen it.
But what countries are
Oh, all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Every country gets to go on the space station?
Well, I don't know about every, but I know China's there. I do know China's there.
And what's the other one?
We're there. I'm pretty sure Russia's up there.
Oh, yeah, it's Russia.
Yeah.
So you got these 3 world powers that are up there reporting back what they're seeing. They are in control of all of it. Right?
What about Germany? I don't ever hear much about Germany in space.
Nah, I don't believe. I'll look it up. I'll try to find out. But I do know for a fact Russia and U.S. are on the space station on round-the-clock missions. I mean,
because there's all that stuff about.
But on Earth, that's our biggest enemy.
Who?
Russia.
Yeah, right.
Right. So the United States and Russia are, like on Earth, the media and everybody will have you believe like that's our biggest threat to civilization and it's that. But
they're all
we're up there hanging out on the fucking space station together.
Yeah.
I found this clip about these astronauts talking about it, and it kind of leans the other way that it did happen. So I thought, in all fairness, we should look at everything, but just listen to kind of what they're saying here.
Okay.
The evidence is there. The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, the spacecraft, is orbiting the moon and taking pictures. And they've taken pictures of every Apollo landing site.
It's regrettable that people would think that 400,000 people workforce could all be in cahoots together and lie to the entire globe. There's no way we would stand here together saying we believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and bold-faced lie to everybody.
And then everybody keeping that secret for 55 years too.
What do you think?
The guys in the what do they call it? The guys in the headquarters that are watching the
mission
landing?
control.
Mission control. Yeah. So if I have already pre-shot this video, and you could even convince the astronauts there in space by putting them in a thing and making them feel like they're blasting off, but they're really just in a Disney World ride.
They never fucking left.
They never even left. But they're looking out the windows and they're thinking they're up there.
That's fucking deep right there.
And then the people in the
you need to write a movie, bro.
I think you might have just hit the bottom of the rabbit hole with that one.
Lord, he's found the bottom of
It's perception. Just like with COVID, all they did is convince the doctors that the vaccine worked.
Mm-hmm. We got 2 more comments. Let's go ahead and get through here. We got Robert calling in out of Indian Trail.
Yeah, I'd like to know why we don't have any of the information or anything like that to go back to the moon. I'd also like to know why, when we were on the moon, there's no stars around. You can see half of Earth, but no stars. I'd also like to know why and how we went there. Don't have the things to do it, like I said. But these people was able to watch us and film us lift off. It's amazing, ain't it?
Yeah, I saw a thing one time where somebody went into NASA where they actually keep their stuff. From the old days, it was all on paper. And they literally went to where the moon landing stuff was. And it was all these these skinny drawers you pull out, like deep skinny drawers. They had like blueprints and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, we just lost. He opens up. They're all empty.
Yeah, that's what, when was it? It was in the early 2000s when Ron Howard was trying to do his documentary on the moon landing, that they started talking about they couldn't find the footage and that it had deteriorated and all. There were several different stories they came up with.
Sound like a bunch of BS.
Yeah, and then they talk about how they lost all the data, and that right there is what broke me from believing that we even went. It's like something that important. Like, how would you lose that?
Right, and it deteriorated, but you have stuff from before that and after that at the same time.
We still have the original Declaration of Independence in a glass case, but we can't have NASA can't keep NASA can send us to the moon, but they can't save a piece of paper.
We have the Dead Sea Scrolls, bro, from like
right.
4,000
for
years
real.
ago, but we don't have
So,
the moon
But
landing.
the footage deteriorated.
Circling back to the participants of the space stations, 15 countries, including United States, Russia, Japan, Canada, and 10 members of the European Space Agency, which I would say probably EU, basically. And Germany is on that list, by the way.
All right. We got another voicemail that just came in here. Actually, two more.
All right, so this is Mark Mucci calling in, and I don't really have a lot to lend to your conversation. However, my grandfather, Dominic Mucci, was a engineer at Grumman Aerospace in Westbury on Long Island, but he was an engineer for Grumman Aerospace for 30 years, and when I was small, he used to tell me that the moon wasn't real. You know, of course, half-heartedly just kidding around. He would say all kinds of crazy things, but he did say that we didn't go to the moon and that it was staged, but everybody always told me my grandfather was crazy. He would say things like the government is the Gestapo. He even made comments that the government poisoned him, which he did die early in the late 70s, and he had like 6 or 7 different types of cancer. A few of them, they hadn't even known what they were. But for whatever that's worth, my grandfather was an engineer at Grumman Aerospace for 30 years, and he did make comments suggesting that things weren't on the up and up with that. However, regardless, I don't believe it was real. I believe a lot of it was staged. So, especially all the stuff from NASA that they put out is a bunch of crap. That's pretty much all I got to say about it.
Kind of like some firsthand or passed down knowledge there.
Yeah.
That's probably what got
China.
poisoned.
I think you had said
Yeah,
China's
really.
on this. China is not allowed on the space station.
Are they not?
Through the Wolf Amendment, which prohibits NASA from collaborating with Chinese space program without prior congressional approval. It's in the thought that they may be able to get some of our top level secrets or some of
They're
but
hacking the computers.
China, yeah, but where did these iPhones come from? Anyway.
So I did hear one time one of the astronauts that was on Apollo 11, right before he passed away on his deathbed, like recanted everything and said, no, we never went there. You know, he was like, had to get it off his chest before he died.
Yes, we got one more comment on the comment line here.
Good day, fellows, and the non-educated people on the left. To all the folks who believe the earth is square, the sun is made of ice, and Pluto is the name of a dog. Well, there's been 6 successful Apollo moon landings and 12 astronauts who have walked on the moon from 1969 to 1972. With Apollo 11, the famous one, being the first, Neil Armstrong commanded that mission July 16th to the 24th, 1969. Then followed Apollo 12, 14. Apollo 15 was the first mission to use a lunar roving vehicle, and then followed up with Apollo mission 16 and 17. Here's the proof. I'm an Army veteran, member of the local VFW, and commander of the local American Legion here in North Carolina. Apollo 13 commander, James Lovell. He just died August 7th, 2025. He commanded that Apollo 13 mission, the disaster in space when the oxygen tank exploded on the second day, April 13th, 1970. The famous line came, Houston, we have a problem. They all returned to Earth, splashing down in the Pacific. With the guidance and help of the men and women at the command station, one of my veterans, Petty Officer 3rd Class, was aboard the USS Iwo Jima, the ship that rescued the astronauts from the ocean. He said the 3-man crew was recovered. They were in great spirits, told their stories to the sailors and officers on the ship. It don't get no better than that. First-hand experience.
So he's saying because they rescued somebody out of the ocean that he believes it all happened.
Kind of got that too. I mean, they did
yeah.
take off. They did come back down, and somebody
Right.
picked them out of the water. And I honestly, I'm sure he's going to watch this episode. Utmost respect for that.
Thank you for your
first-hand
service.
account. Yeah, and thank you for your service. I'm still not changed on. You know, I think it. I want to believe it, but I don't have enough proof. That's a lot of proof. Now that's
more than I have, 100%
Right.
more
Yeah.
personal experience than I have. But at the same time, perception is key.
Yeah.
How would that would convince that many sailors that it definitely happened just because they picked them up, and then those guys get on the boat and they're telling their story. But what if they were perceived?
Was that a
or
crew
deceived?
that had actually went to the moon though, or did they just take off and had a problem? I can't.
Yeah,
remember.
they had a problem. They were trying to get.
They
up
never
there and had
got
a
into
problem.
orbit though, right?
I don't know how far.
Yeah, they did. The oxygen tank blew up.
They got all the way into orbit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did they
and
get to the moon?
If you look into it, something happened where
What was it, Apollo 16?
they did something and
13.
did extra thrust for longer than you're supposed to, and it cut off a whole day of travel coming back, or something like that.
So they had to cut it short.
If I'm
And
drawing
then
from
he said
memory right.
oxygen tank exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty scary. I'm ready to come back if I'm going to the moon and
Yeah.
something blows up in there. Yeah, send me back.
So I pulled it up here, and Apollo 13 actually did not make it to the moon landing, but it did orbit the moon. So whenever they had the oxygen tank blew up, that was part of their way to make power also for propulsion and all that. And there was a movie made about this. It was a pretty good movie. But what they did is they shut everything down and coasted and got within the gravitational or whatever with the moon. And they kind of like, if they missed it, they would have continued on to outer space forever. That was the big deal.
Yeah.
And so they had to hit it perfect.
Uh-oh. Got a phone call coming in on the rabbit hole line. Caller, come on in with us.
Howdy. Y'all doing all right?
Doing good, man. We're talking about the moon landing. Do you think it was fake or real?
I personally think it was fake.
What? What are you basing that
given
on?
the circumstances. So what? Sorry.
What are you basing that on?
I'm basing it off of the fact that America at that time was well ahead of all the other countries as far as like theater, movies, etc.
Oh.
So they had a leg up on other countries as far as like, I don't know if it was CGI effects, if you would call it back then. You see where I'm kind of going with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do.
So was the space race a film industry technology race?
Yeah. Yeah. Very possible.
Very well could have been.
Yeah.
So now I've got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Y'all might have answers.
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's fake, but here's the question. If the United States faked the moon landing, then why didn't the Soviets expose the deception?
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Wow.
I think it's because they're all in the same thing. So the Soviets, China, they got their version of the NASA, which is just a money laundering scheme. So they said, hey, look, we're going to win this race, but we're going to tell you how you're going to be able to use your space program to funnel money from your citizens.
Yeah. It creates a sense of national pride, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can do this stuff. We can go to outer space. So it creates a sense of national pride, and it's a way of them extorting money from the citizens to support it.
Right.
Hey, caller, I forgot to ask, what city and state are you calling out of?
I'm actually calling from Letcher County, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Well, we appreciate your call, man. That's a good point. It's more theatrics than anything.
We could pull off the illusion before anybody else.
Yeah.
Beat them to the punch.
Yeah.
But they were trying to.
We were years ahead of them in movies and shows of all countries.
Yeah, it was around the same time that Stanley Kubrick's, what was it, Space Odyssey 2001 or whatever, when that came out.
Yeah. I did see one thing that they think that
Spielberg.
Spielberg, yeah.
Spielberg, yeah.
Steven Spielberg was the one in on it that actually produced it or filmed it or whatever.
And then turns around and makes a box office.
And then makes ET right after.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, rabbit hole line going again. Caller, come on in. We're talking about the moon landing. Moon landing, fake or real?
Moon landing, huh?
Yeah, moon landing, fake or
I
real?
think it is completely fake. Nobody's ever been on the moon. There's just no way to get up there.
Are you a flat earther?
And they claim. I'm not saying that I'm a flat earther, but I do not believe that we made it to the moon. And NASA has even said that they lost the technology to get to the moon. What do you think about that?
Well, that's what we've been discussing. Through trial and error, you should be able to replicate it with today's standards and technology pretty rapidly. So, is it possible to go to the moon? So you are a flat earther then?
They spent millions and millions of dollars on developing this technology to go to the moon, and all of a sudden we can't go back.
You think
we lost the technology?
Do you
what
think-
sense does that make at all?
Do you think Russia's been to the moon?
No, I don't think anybody's been to the moon.
Is it possible to go to the moon?
That's a different question. I think it might be possible to get there, but we have not, as humans, we have not done it.
You sound like the president of the Flat Earth Club.
I'm not saying that it's a flat Earth. I ain't saying it's a round Earth.
But firmament.
But I do say for sure we did not go to the moon.
Okay. Anybody got any questions
enough.
for the caller?
Fair enough.
Nope, he hit on some good points.
He's good to go. All right, man. We appreciate your call.
I think that's your favorite part of the call.
Oh, hanging up on people. It's like, all right, leave me alone. I mean, man, these people make good points, but I really just want to know. So it's faked. We can never go. We're not going to go, but we're going to go to Mars.
Yeah, that makes zero sense at all.
I mean, it's kind of baffling to
Mars
me,
is
man.
so much further away.
You know what I just thought about?
And you can't give up dreaming.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
what I'm
we
saying?
have to continue the lie.
Got to have
You want to know what I just thought about with Elon's mothership that he's trying to build? What keeps happening to him? They keep failing.
Mm-hmm.
Are they hitting the firmament?
Well, why do they always curve though? Why does nothing ever go straight up? It goes
But
and makes a huge curve.
Why do they keep failing?
The answer to that, or their answer to that, let me say answer, is that in order to get through the orbit, you can't just shoot straight up. You do have to have a certain angle. Like there's all these calculations you have to take into account when you're shooting out of our orbit. And so if there is no firmament, right, then you couldn't just go straight up. You'd have to go at kind of an angle because, again, you got that Van Allen belt is just a layer of like radiation and stuff. So it's thick. It's like a smog, like a thick smog, but it will like destroy a ship. But
yeah,
I just don't understand how these ships, and then you see like on the moon landing, some of the stuff they have on there, and it looks like tinfoil wrapped around stuff. Like, how is that on space rockets shooting through this orbit? Now, when you come back through, you would burn up. How are these things not burning up? Everything else burns up. A big ass rock,
a meteorite,
comes through the
completely incinerates,
comes through our orbit,
doesn't even hit
and
the ground,
burns up.
Right.
How is that possible?
When you say lost, I need clarification.
Legit, like
doesn't exist.
The drawers open and all the stuff is gone out.
Okay, where did it go? And I'm not even trying to be funny. Somebody took it.
Well,
they threw it away.
There could be like maybe there was a what do you call them, a spy or something in NASA that took everything, and then maybe
then
that's
they went
how
to the moon.
Russia got to the moon later. You
Hang
know,
There's
that
not
we don't know.
backups. There's not backups of this stuff.
Well, we didn't have computers back then, even though we could talk to a spaceship circling the moon.
So it should be
in
easier
almost
now.
real
And
time.
we could get a picture back to Earth.
Yeah.
Before we had Wi-Fi.
Well, that works.
They
I mean,
had
with
it the next
radio
day.
waves, that does work. That could work.
picture.
I want
But
to
it
show
would take
you.
forever.
I want to show you
Yeah,
how
it's just
Yeah,
pixels.
they had it the next day.
I want to show you how easy it is to fake a space video. Okay.
Okay.
I was looking around and I found this amateur guy that replicated it in his backyard.
Okay, let's see it.
Yeah, have a look at this. Look at that. Oh, look, I'm in outer space in my backyard. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Was it slow motion video or something? Is he doing like some real high?
It must be.
That's not, I don't know what the hell he's doing.
You can hear the sound is off
Yeah,
too.
it
It's
must
gotta
be slow motion.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But that's revealing the method that you could do it in, you know.
And why is the lady's hair just floating straight up? Is it reverse orbit? Like, it wouldn't float straight up. If you're in water, for instance, and you have long hair, it's going to go
It goes
everywhere.
all over,
it's not
yeah.
just going to go
Why
one
is it
direction.
up? Yeah, why is it up?
Why is
So-
it all straight up and it doesn't move? She moves her head and you could tell it's just hairspray.
Yeah, she's on the way to a Static X concert. Did you have something?
Where do you think the archives for NASA are located?
I don't think they exist.
Oh, is it in Memphis?
NASA
Or,
headquarters
in
archive.
Mississippi?
Where do you think it's located?
Oh, the NASA.
Where all the documents would be kept. All the files, all
is
the
it in Florida?
records. Washington D.C.
Was it at the Pentagon when it got hit?
No, it's to the answer about where did it go. This is a very vague. It says a few specific items have been lost or erased, most notably some original Apollo 11.
Well, how do
tapes.
you erase something that's not on a computer?
Yeah, who keeps all the records? Oh, top level, the highest level of the government, Washington, D.C.
Imagine that. I do have one more video. The brightest guy on the planet, on the brightest guy on the sphere, was asked.
I found it.
Asked why have
Why
we
have
not
we
been
not gone back to the moon in 50 years?
When we first went to the moon, we have to remind ourselves why. All right, there's been a lot of cleansing of the memory of the motivator, of what motivated us to do it in the first place. It was in response, it was reactive to the Soviet Union. They beat us in practically every space metric that mattered over that time. So they had so many firsts that we didn't, that we said, all right, what are we gonna do? Let's go to the moon. And so by the time we got to the moon and realized Russia actually isn't headed there, it took some of the steam out of sort of the militaristic motivations that got us there in the first place. Allow me to remind you that this Apollo 17 was the first mission to the moon to have a scientist on it. And by the way, it was the last mission to the moon.
I think what he's saying is, Trump created Space Force, but I think what he's saying is that missions into outer space were never about going to explore the moon. They were more from a military standpoint.
Right.
You got to think, what's the best position in any combat situation?
High advantage.
You can't get higher than the original raw Apollo 11 slow scan television, blah, 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 was recorded over and erased by NASA in the 80s. How convenient. They just recorded over space videos. Like,
how did they show it on TV?
I'm just like, who
would record over?
You have to.
Oh, video from the mission is still available because TV networks recorded. So television still okay. All right, but NASA doesn't have it. Got it. Yeah,
you got it. Back in the day, you'd have to put a little piece of tape over that hole.
Yeah.
So somebody went and put a piece of tape over that hole and recorded over the.
I guess
did it not say Apollo 11? Do not delete.
I think they just ran out of money and they probably needed another tape or something.
They couldn't afford a VHS tapes. Why are they recording over VHS?
Still sounds like
tapes?
a bunch of horror.
Yeah.
It does, don't it?
I mean, yeah, for real.
It really.
What about Stanley Kubrick, though? He had admitted on his deathbed, supposedly, of course, everything's supposed when it's like this, but he had admitted to being contacted by NASA.
There's pictures of NASA executives and Stanley Kubrick and a couple of other guys walking through the film studio together.
What if they just did that to buy time and they went to the moon at a later time? Because like that one caller said, there was Apollo 13, 14, 15, 16, 12 men have walked on the moon.
I think that they claim they lost it and don't have the footage anymore because we could, with the technology we have today, we could pick that shit apart.
Right.
Like
But
it's nothing.
If you really are a flat earther,
that it was fake.
You can't believe that we went to the moon unless the moon is local.
Well, if it's local,
then
it'd be a little easier to get to, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The moon landing is directly tied to the flat earth thing. I mean, these two episodes are going to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
It should be like a part 1 and a part 2.
Yeah, I'd like to know the percentages of people that are
moon landing and
because some people are like, well, it's a basketball Earth, but we didn't go to the moon. Like my brother Josh even said that.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact. So that we sent animals into outer space first, right? Which makes sense. I mean,
chimpanzees, I think.
Russia,
right?
Russia said
chimpanzees.
Curious George,
dogs,
with a tail or without a tail?
Cats. But the first thing that was sent were fruit flies.
Fruit flies?
Yep. It was fruit flies. And they sent fruit flies to see if the radiation exposure at high altitudes. 1947.
Oh, that Van Allen belt. Did they get through?
I don't know. But
it don't tell if they survived or not?
They're claiming they did.
Monkeys and chimpanzees, dogs. But here's my thing. Like, once they get into outer space, they lose gravity, so they're just floating around. So you're telling me, like, we sent a dog up there with a dog food bowl and a water bowl, and they just, like, floated around in it? Like, how did, like...
That's awful.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of inhumane, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But how did no, I'm saying, like, seriously, like, how did we send animals that can't really control their, they can walk and they can jump, but they can't really stabilize themselves?
Does that mean there's a spaceship up there floating around with a dog's skull and skeleton?
If it didn't come back, but a lot of them
come back.
A lot of, if it did, a lot of them they returned and that's how they completed the study. But a lot of them did not come back alive.
The thing is, too, is like those rocket ships are supposedly so light and so thin, and there's so much radiation in space that I feel like everybody that went to space would come back immediately with cancer. Mm-hmm. Like the thickness you have to prevent radiation poisoning like lead walls, big steel walls, whatever it is. Lead is, I think, one of the best protectors against radiation, but you'd have to have like a foot thick wall on these space. So they're wearing spacesuits, and half the time they don't even have their helmet on. The people in the ISS are floating around there with no helmet on. You're telling me these guys aren't getting radiation sickness?
Well, that's from the sun, right? Isn't it the ozone that blocks it
No,
from
they
getting...
once you go into space, it's full of radiation. Like high intense radiation.
It just naturally, it's not like emitted by something, it just exists. It's just a radioactive environment.
It is from the sun.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So once you go outside of our solar system, maybe it dies down, but inside our solar system, everywhere you go, especially on Earth because we're so close to the sun.
That Van Allen belt is extreme, though.
Right.
It's
more
than
the worst radiation.
Once you get through it, it's not as bad. Right. In there, it's like, a lot of people say you can't go through it.
That's what I think the firmament.
But first, you got to subscribe to Flat Earth 101 before we can get you there.
Well, no, you could have a firmament on around Earth.
Well, so has anybody's mind changed? I mean,
yeah, I changed mine halfway through.
I don't know, man, if they've faked it or not. I do know they lie. They're willing to lie. They'll spend large amounts of money to lie. So
our money.
By default, if the government's involved, I don't believe it.
100%.
So for me, it sounds like it was fake. If we've been since possibly 13, 14, 15, 16 Apollo, maybe. But the footage that I've seen, especially that car, that lunar module thing driving around with the suspension travel.
No, that's a tough one there.
Not in the dust falling right back down.
Yeah, the dust wouldn't fall. Dust is so light, so it would. I mean, dust here.
It would at least stay dusty.
When they drive down your driveway, the dust floats forever in our gravity.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it float?
Yeah.
Almost infinite,
Yeah.
It should there should still be dust clouds up there. 1/6 of the weight.
Like I said,
you're round Earth, fake moon.
Round Earth, fake moon. I mean, again, in elementary school, and you can be an astronaut, you can be whatever you want to. All of that's fun, but as an adult, and then sitting here looking at the stuff, using logic and physics and facts, and you look at the one that really is kind of the whole rover sitting there. And I mean, like, if it's a weightless environment or low gravity environment, the first bump it hit, it should have did this.
Correct. Correct.
But that suspension, I mean, that thing is working.
It was under high gravity.
High gravity.
I mean, unless it's just got nice suspension like my Hellcat where it pulls it right back down.
Possibly.
But it didn't have all that weight on it. It had to, like you said, they're bringing this thing up there and then dropping it on the moon.
Yeah.
Where did they put that? In the trunk?
Right. Yeah. Like they
Did they have a trailer?
It was like a fucking. It was like an. I'm sorry. It was like an IKEA. It was like an IKEA kit when they got there. They got the wheels out and like.
I almost forgot. I did have a message sent in because you can also text message that hotline, and a guy texted and said, the first guy that stepped on the moon, who was out there videoing it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Who had the camera set up?
Did they go out there and stick the camera and get back in and get out?
Yeah,
or
tripod.
Something's I don't.
It was all. Yeah.
Something's weird about
just
it.
like the thing where Katy Perry went up on that thing
so fake.
and then opened the door and they come up and shut it real quick. No, we're not supposed to be able to open it from the inside.
And they wonder why conspiracy theorists go crazy.
Right.
Stuff like that. It's like, what's that? We look at everything.
Yeah. 100%. And a lot of our conspiracies are being proven true.
Well, can we lay this one to rest then?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we're going to let it rest. You going to take us on out of here?
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Down the Rabbit Hole. Hey, look, next time we're going to be talking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We got a lot to go over on that one. It's a big hot topic. If you'd like, call in to our hotline. You can text. You can leave a message. The number is 704-774-6105. Make sure you smash that like button, all right? Subscribe. Hit that notification if you want to get alerts when we post new stuff. All right, guys. Peace. Take it out. Good guy. It's fine.
Good. I could tell when I was like, we're getting ready to get the damn.
Now we're getting to the bottom of it.